And the same applies for you, passionates. I don't know where you are in your life. If you're at the point where people can... I know they lying in this with this drilling in the middle of my episode. I know they lying. Passion public service announcement. Passionate. Let me tell you something. So what is this Passion PSA podcast? Who am I? Well, they call me Passion, short for passion, no last necessary. Why is there no last name necessary? Because the first name says it all. I am passion and all that embodies. What do I do here? I give you the life coaching that you know you need, but don't enroll yourself in. When did I start? Actually, 2017. I'd leave a PSA on my Instagram regarding something I'd observed, and now we've evolved to this. Why do I do it? Why not? If even one person is able to take away one thing that changes their life, someone else's life, or changes the world for the better, then I've done what I was charged to do. So come on in, sit and listen for a while. There's something here for everyone at the Passion PSA podcast. Greetings and salutations, my beloved passionates, newcomers, visitors, and guests. Welcome to another episode of the Passion PSA podcast, where I passion no last necessary. Your Get You Right Guru. Issue a weekly public service announcement about whatever I've observed or was on my mind. This is a for your consideration zone where the objective is to offer you a perspective you may not have previously considered to A, expand your thinking, and B, to aid you in becoming a better version of yourself, and for others. This is a safe space, but not necessarily a delicate one. I'll never rob you of your right to feel what you feel. Same way I will not sugarcoat the truth to make it more palatable. The goal is to get you to higher, more expanded thinking so you can operate as your highest and best self. If you are new here, we start each episode with affirmations to ensure that regardless of what we discuss and how it may make you feel, we have intentionally started on the highest possible vibration and correct frequency. Are you ready? I know I am. Let's shift this energy upward. You're always welcome to repeat after me or to use this time to state your own affirmations. I am divine. I am a magnificent extension of Source. Source is pleased with me. I am pleased with myself. I did that. I am doing it, and well, it is done. My works are notable. My works are memorable. My works are a testament to my purpose. I am proud of the legacy I am building. I am proud of the legacy I am leaving. I give myself credit for where I am. I give myself room to get to the next place in the journey. My life story is a bestseller, and I am an incredible author. Onward. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Passionates, I have been thinking about this subject for quite some time now. There have been many times when I've reviewed my life and asked myself what I've accomplished. Fortunately for me, I keep cards, mementos from events, things of that nature. So when I finally sat down to organize all of them, it gave me like a flip book tour of just how much I had actually done. And on the other side of that, I also felt like so many of my accomplishments and major things that I'd participated in were in my youth. And my involvement in those things was really predicated on my mother thinking about what would benefit me and what would look good on my college applications. So it felt and looked like there were patches in my life where I just did nothing. And that's because during those times, I was in survival mode. And that's through no fault of anyone else. I was all over the place. And whether it was I couldn't or I didn't, I didn't get it together. Okay. We could talk about that more later, maybe, possibly. Point is, I felt like I hadn't accomplished much, and I didn't count survival as an accomplishment, which I definitely could have, and I probably should have, especially for those times I was surviving myself. Hello, somebody? Okay. So I would start feeling down about it. I questioned what I had to show for my adult life because things felt too few and too far between. So I questioned what I'd be remembered for and who I'd be remembered by. I questioned what my legacy would be. Passionate, are you particular about what you put on your skin and what you put in your hair? If you're anything like me, you're very specific about the ingredients of the products that you're using. And my good sis, Lashandra, has a product that's probably perfect for you. She calls it Lashandra's Essentials Strengthening and Nourishing Hair and Body Oil. And she infuses actual herbs into the oil. Let me give you, I have my phone in my hand because the list of benefits of this product is so long. So I need to make sure that I tell you all of the things that it's good for. So if you have issues with eczema, psoriasis, alopecia, dermatitis, dry hair or scalp, dry skin, excess shedding in hair, breakage, dark spots, brightening under eye circles, fading stretch marks, if you have burns or you have scars, this is the product for you, and it can be used as a massage oil or a beard oil. Now, I don't know how many products you have available to you that you can do all of that with, but I know for a fact that this product does that and more. I have used it. I stand by it. I am a fan of it. It takes only a drop. And the best part of this whole announcement is that my sis has been so gracious as to extend a 20% off offer for my passionates. And the code that you need to use is passionate for y'all. So head on over to her Etsy, etsy.com/shop/Lashandra's Essentials. You can use my discount code passionate for 20% off. If you did not want to go that route, you wanted to just go to the link below in the description box, do that, click the link, and the discount code is already applied as soon as you click the link. She also offers CMOS, so get into it. Go check out her site. Go check out her product, and thank me later. Let's get back to the episode. There was a time when I felt like legacy and having children were synonymous. So, you get caught up in biological clocks, and people everywhere will encourage you to create life with or without a partner, whether or not you can support yourself, much less someone else, whether or not you have a domicile of your own. They don't endow you with tools to circumvent the stress of not being equipped for parenthood, but still being expected to do a great job of it. And a lot of those people that don't offer you tools, they don't offer them because they lack them themselves. I'm not here to badger. I'm not here to belittle, because everyone does what they feel is acceptable at the time that they do it. Some have done or are doing their best, and some just do what they do, and you can feel how you feel. There was a time when, because I'm a creative, I felt like legacy was associated with major notoriety. And I recognize the parts of that thinking that are me being bound by the agreements of others, right? So even when I had done something and I was really happy with what I'd done, it didn't seem big enough or memorable enough because it wasn't on a larger scale. So if I did a play, I was excited about it, but it wasn't Broadway. Did a web series, that's great, but it's not a primetime show on a major network or major streaming and getting a lot of attention. Most of the feelings of inadequacy were because I was operating from a space of comparison, and we all know that comparison is a thief of joy. Some of it came from outside because sometimes some people's opinions were carrying way more weight than I should have allowed. And sometimes people's excitement for what you're going to do next can make you feel like you're not growing fast enough. In a microwave society, the expectation is that the result should only take as long as it takes to snap your fingers. Now, we know that that's not how it's going down, but we still want to see immediate results. So I went to all of those places, and then I looked at everything with new eyes. Instead of looking at what wasn't done, I started to look from the perspective of what was done. Instead of assigning value based on how big or small, how notable or forgettable, I decided to really reflect on my adult life and take stock of what I've done. I'm really grateful that I did, and I'm going to share some of it with you. But for clarity, this episode was actually inspired by the recent celebrity death that had been met with such a broad expanse of reaction and response. Now, I was no fan of this individual. I don't know too much of their body of work because when and how I was exposed to them, all I saw was them tearing people down. Now, if you're tearing someone down to build them back up better, I may not agree with your method, but I can at least see where the intention was good. And if the end result ultimately turns out to be the desired result, well, then all is well that ends well. From where I was sitting, though, it looked like they were just tearing people down to do it for views, for likes, for comments. And the main people that seemed to agree with this individual, and this probably was the funniest part of it to me, the main people co-signing this individual's thinking, their thought processes, these people looked at themselves in the highest regard, and felt like they were the caliber that these callers couldn't measure up to. But had the tables been turned, they would have quickly been cast into the same boat as the people they were laughing at, and felt like those people needed to take notes. Now, yes, I know I'm being unnecessarily cryptic because most of you know who I'm talking about, but they didn't get burned from me when they were in the flesh, and I'm not trying to get them that much shine now that they're in the spirit. But the way people responded to news of their death really made me want to pose to y'all, what is the legacy you're leaving? Are you clear on what legacy means and what it means to you? You already know what time it is. What a dictionary definition. That's what passion takes action towards. Show your vocab is expanded. If you know the word is cool, know the meaning even better than the segment, just a moment of enhancement. So according to lexico.com, definition number 2 of legacy is the long-lasting impact of particular events, actions, etc. that took place in the past or of a person's life. According to the second definition from merriam-webster.com, legacy is something transmitted by or received from an ancestor or predecessor or from the past. The reason I didn't give definition 1 is because on both of these sites, a Google search or dictionary.com, the first definition is about money. And this is way bigger than money, folks. There are people who we laud on the grandest scale, who died penniless with mountains of debt, but the legacy that they left behind shaped generations. The impact of their life was substantial and in the best ways. And that goes either way, right? Albert Einstein's legacy was his mathematical contributions, not his child or children. I'm not sure if he had multiple children. I know he had at least one daughter. Not his net worth, right? He gave lectures, he dropped gems, and they're still being quoted to this day. So his contributions were math and wisdom. That's the legacy he left. Now, on the other hand, I just went to a funeral where the turnout was extremely small, mostly family, and most of them showed up because of the survivors and not the deceased. Now, my memories with the departed were lighthearted and laughter-filled, but with too many others, they left a legacy of lies and abuse and angry feelings. And that pretty much got handled like a write-off on an account. It was definitely, well, they're at peace now, can't do any more damage. Like that kind of energy. And that's in line with the lexical definition, right? The long-lasting impact in life was, I'm done with you. I wash my hands of you. Good luck and Godspeed, because you're on your own for real, for real. How do you want to be remembered? And do you fully believe the people whose lives you touched thus far will remember you that way? I read through the comments of this celebrity's death, and y'all hatefulness ain't got no breaks, okay? People speculated on this person dying alone. They speculated on how they had it coming. They dismissed it as, okay, so anyway, I'm having Arby's for lunch. Like, what y'all doing? There were so few comments saying condolences to the family. And why? Because when you make notoriety from tearing people to shreds, there are people who are patiently waiting for that one that comes to cut you down to size. And if your day of reckoning happens to be your last day alive, boy, that's the mentality. I started this podcast because the conversations I have with y'all were the conversations I was having privately and on a daily basis. These people that I was talking to were telling me how they greatly benefited from these talks. So I decided I was going to take it to the next level, because good advice is good advice, no matter how late it feels when you get it. So I put it out there, and whoever's ready, whenever they're ready, it's there for their consumption. If I don't know about it, if I do know about it, it is well. The legacy I am building with this pod is intentionally building people up. The information I have, I share fearlessly, knowing that empowering you doesn't rob me, even if you go further than me. The legacy I'm building with the company, with what one woman does, is that even if there's only one person, one is enough. I am fully capable of doing all the things, even if it takes what feels like forever. And I'm also fully capable of enlisting help when I need it. If this one woman does nothing else, she makes a good effort and ultimately gets good results. Come on, somebody. The legacy that I want to leave with my godchildren and my nieces and nephews is love, laughter, and availability. When I'm gone, I want them to say my godmommy, my auntie, my titi, my tia, whatever they want to call me, that she always made me laugh. She always knew how to make me feel better, and she loved me. With my life partner, I want him to say I felt supported, even if she didn't always get me. She always tried. She listened. She gave sound advice. And I am glad and grateful that we chose to do this life thing together. I want my friends to say no matter what, she always had my back. She gave it to me raw and uncut, but she always gave it with love. She was a walking embodiment of friendship. That is the legacy that I strive to leave. That's how I want to be remembered. I'm almost not even striving for perfection, but let's not get crazy. It's only almost, right? Because perfectionists going to find a way to perfect, even to their own detriment. And it's not lost on me that there are people who may not remember me for my best attributes and all of the ways I want to be remembered. They may have a long list of cons, and they are entitled to that. Their reality is their safe space, right? But I believe that I do enough work daily to make deposits toward being remembered the way I want to be. Can you say the same? Were you a wreck up until recently? When you were a wreck, did you leave miles of damage behind you? And I'm not asking you this so that you can lament or feel guilty about what you've done, because that only matters as much as it does. You feeling bad about what you did can't undo it. So lamenting without correcting is futile and kind of worthless. But I want you to be real with yourself of how you'll be remembered. There are a lot of people doing a piss poor job in their intimate relationships, but still believing that said piss poverty, y'all like that? That it'll be forgotten. And for some folks, once you transition from the flesh, their customs and traditions and beliefs are that you shouldn't speak ill of the dead. And okay, then that should be a mighty quiet funeral, because what do you say about someone about whom you have nothing nice to say? Because no one forgot. And while the actions may be in the past, if the hurt is still being felt in the present, if the pieces are still being picked up and the damage is still being undone in the present, traditions be damned. If you ask X about Y and they feel Y was the bane of their existence, that's exactly what X is going to say. And if you give them ear long enough, X will also give you full details too. Are you the Y in this scenario? Last year, someone where I work passed, and we all took it hard. He was just a good guy, plain and simple. He always had a smile or a sincere acknowledgement to offer. He's just a pleasure to know, you know? And then there's someone else at my job that if it would have been them, it would have been just another day of the week. And the reason is because he has done some foul things. He has said some foul things. He has tried people. He's almost cost people their jobs. He has cost people their jobs. Like, money will not be missed, because the legacy that he built amongst the people that he worked with is that he's a foul dude. And the things that he's done, they're going to live on after him. Now, if he starts making changes today, will that make a difference? I can't say for sure one way or another, but I know it doesn't hurt to try. And the same applies for you, Passionates. I don't know where you are in your life. You may be at the point where people can only or mainly recall their fondest memories of you. You may be at the point where people can't hear your name without their blood pressure going up. I don't know. But what I do know is great legacy is built. It doesn't get assigned to you at death because it's in poor taste to not say nice things. It doesn't get handed to you because you're just average floating through life. As with anything of value, it requires effort and attention. If the legacy you want to leave is a building with your name on it, I'm sure you want that building to be well built and well maintained. No one wants their name on a Roach Motel. And even with respect to that, putting your name on a beautiful building is great. But if the building is beautiful and the name on it is associated with trash, beloved, it's the same difference. So if you're not 100% sure of how you could be remembered across all the lives you've touched thus far, I would say that now is a great time for you to decide how you want to be remembered and work actively and diligently toward getting there. If you want to be remembered as a great movie star and you aren't out here auditioning for roles, you better at least be out here shooting some skits with your phone. You want to be a famous singer and that's how you want to touch people, you better not let a record deal stop you. I don't know what's up with Asia, okay? But I know y'all remember William Hung. And now you got, how you say his name? ETL? I don't know. He out here singing numbers and trying to do runs that sound more like slip and falls. Amen, saints? Come on. But wrong notes or not, if they wanted to be remembered for their singing, mission accomplished. If they want to be remembered for what others thought they couldn't do, mission accomplished. And if you want to be remembered for better than your worst and more than your least, baby, you have to start the mission in order for it to be accomplished. So this is the last thing I want to talk about. I've had multiple conversations where the suggestion was for me to show more of a side of myself that is generally reserved for people who know me in real life, off screen, and up close and personal. I was just talking to my primitita about it because we were talking and I dropped the podcast voice on her. And that was like real quick after I went off about people in their illiteracy because they be getting on my nerves on Instagram. That was a sidebar. Amen. But when deciding what legacy you intend to leave, you have to be intentional about what audiences you want to leave what with. If you have some interesting proclivities about yourself that maybe you're not ashamed of, but don't necessarily want the scrutiny of the world you don't necessarily want the scrutiny of the world on your behind closed doors activities, A, be mindful of how those things are shared, and B, everybody doesn't have to know everything. Some things may garner more notoriety, but that may not result in you being viewed or remembered the way you want to be, or even the way you possibly should be. I could give a lot of these social media comedians a run for their money. I don't know if I amuse you, but I amuse the blues out of me. And while there is a space and a place where I want to be comedic in this space, I'm very good with you getting the Light FM voice. I do get a little hype on occasion, judge me not. But I'm good with what I'm delivering here, how I'm delivering it, right? Tone-wise, aesthetically, and even the format. Could I be successful doing something along another vibration? A resounding yes. But I don't want that to overpower or overshadow this work. This is a specific work with a specific intention. And I think that brings us full circle back to the social media star we were talking about earlier. From what I hear now, they didn't limit the venom to one group. They had fire for everyone. But what they were known for and what they'll be remembered for was what they had the most popularity for. I saw a clip where they were really talking about something and making sense without bashing anyone or making anyone feel away. A clip. But I've seen many clips where that wasn't the case. And that's not my interest. As an actor, let me be remembered for being an amazing actor, not a comedic actor or dramatic actor, but the actor who got on stage or on screen and it took you a minute for your mind to register that it was only a character after the show was over. As a spoken word artist, a poet, a writer, don't pigeonhole me into any one category like activist or erotic poet. I'm not an erotic poet, chill out with all that. But let me be remembered for being a true lyricist. Let me be remembered for being a wordsmith who could write in any genre and keep you locked in because I'm a griot, because I'm a real storyteller. I could do reaction videos and I could probably skyrocket. But if the consumers of that content are more interested in the delivery than the message, and the message begins to get lost, then my intention, which is to educate while entertaining gets reduced to just entertaining. And that's not enough for me. Not in this space, in a separate space. That's it for today, folks. Comments, questions, concerns, commendations, they are all welcome. Drop them below. Listener letters can be sent to mybrilliantfriendpassion@gmail.com, whether you're viewing or listening on your preferred podcast platform. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications, share. Help me help others help themselves. If you would like to be a financial contributor, donations can be made via Podbean, PayPal, Cash App, Linktree, or Zelle. All the links are in the description box below. Every little bit helps. It all goes back into the pod. This is your Get You Right Guru. Signing off. Y'all go forth. Be great. Be filled with bliss. Be armed and empowered with knowledge. Remember these things. Deciding what legacy you want to leave is important. Figuring out if you're on track to leave your desired legacy is important. Readjusting your course if necessary is also a critical place of review and action. If you want to be remembered a specific way, you have to stay 10 toes down when doing what may be more popular seems like the fast track. Stand your ground and trust your vision. I could be wrong, but I'm not. Take the rest of the week and think it through. Write it out like you would a mission statement. Write the vision and make it plain. The vision waits an appointed time. Though it may tarry, wait for it. I'm paraphrasing, but if you know, you know. If you don't, it's Habakkuk. Is it Habakkuk or Habakkuk? It don't matter. It's chapter 2, verses 2 through 3. In all things be passionate. See you later.